What's up, YouTube? All right, we're back with the Speed 6 again. Trying to get the brake lines done today, and hopefully move on to the motor mounts, if I can speak. Anyhow, we'll get started. Here's what we got so far. There's the brake line, and here's the new brake lines. All right, so a little update on the Mazda. So as I got into it and I started to change the brake lines, I noticed one thing. When you go to disconnect your brake line here from the main line, there is a little bracket here that this slides into. So I just finished disconnecting it, and it's this bracket here. Well, with my new brake lines, let me see if I can get this focused. Oh, perfect. This little lip area right here, if you can see it, is supposed to slide in, but this, on the new stainless steel brake lines, this piece is a little bit too wide to fit into that little slot here. And so what I got to do is take this bracket off, and with my Dremel tool I got to widen this, and I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, so I just took the bracket off. All it's held in is with one bolt right here. This is just a little pin that's part of the bracket itself. But what I gotta do is I'm gonna have to widen this slot here that you see so that it will fit onto the brake line, because it's too wide and this piece will not fit in there. You can see how much tolerance it is. So I'll take a Dremel tool to that, grind it down a little bit, and it'll fit. I've already done the passenger side. This is the driver's side. All right, so here, this is what I'm using is a Dremel tool and this little grinding wheel. And all I'm gonna do is just grind that down a little bit, wind it so that the brake line will then slide in there. Because you can see how far the hole, well, hopefully you can, the bolt goes in, but it's just not matching up. Perfect. So let me go ahead and start this a little bit. And it doesn't take too much, but I'll just work on it, and we'll show you the results in a second. All right, so I ground it down a little bit, and you can see the work that I did. Just took the Dremel tool, and now this will, still a nice tight fit. So just go little by little, because you obviously don't want this loose, but it's a nice tight fit, and now the hole matches up, and I'm ready to go. All right, so we just finished routing the brake line. We've got it on here, a stainless steel brake line. I am now attaching, well, the banjo bolt has been attached. It came new with the new braided lines, and we have to tighten it to somewhere between 12 and 14 foot-pounds. So I'm using a inch-pound, and we've converted it. So we went from 144 to roughly 168, but we decided to do 156, I think, inch-pounds. So that's the 13 foot-pound. Actually, correction, the 13, yeah, we're going with 13, which is right in the middle. And I'm setting this to it's at 150 now, so we'll go 150. And I'm sorry, but you will not be able to see that because you just can't see the little hash marks. But I'm setting this at 156 right now, and we'll do our final torque. There you go. 2 clicks, and we're good. All right, fellas. So I've learned a valuable lesson. Regardless of what they tell you on YouTube, and regardless of what I tell you, if I tell you that this job takes 15 minutes, just go ahead and account for, I don't know, half a day, because that's pretty much what it's taken us. Yes. Any possible issue that we could have ran into, we have. For instance, let me show you this. Okay, so here you have the rear brake line, which is this one here, comes down, and it ties in right back here to the caliper. If you can see it, goes up. However, this bolt right here, this little nut, oh boy, that gave us a fight. So we had to apply a considerable amount of heat to this, actually to the bottom of the, or the top of the old brake line just so that we could get that thing loose. But we fought with that thing for a good bit. I'd say maybe 45 minutes or so. We hit it with penetrating oil. The penetrating oil that I was using is this WD-40 Specialist Penetrant, fast acting. There's nothing fast acting about that thing, and there's nothing fast about doing these. I mean, if you don't have an issue with that, that's not a problem. Second problem that we've had is, in order to get this brake line tied in here, it's got to fit in this bottom bracket. Of course, you got to remove this little thing, and all you do is just pull this straight out, and it loosens this. So there's a lot of play here, but it wouldn't fit. So what we had to do was remove the bracket by removing these two bolts, which is easy enough, and then attaching this bracket to the hose, and then going through and attaching it back to the car. It made it a lot easier. So these are some of the struggles you may find yourself with. Just keep that in mind.
Show him the...
Okay, so right now, my buddy Joey, here's Joey. He's looking away because he doesn't want to be a movie star. That's what we did. We took the bracket off, and he actually attached the hose. We took this is the bracket I was talking about. So he took the hose off so we could slide this pin under here, and now we'll go ahead and attach it to the existing line. All right, YouTube, real talk. So I did not get as far as I wanted to today. I was hoping to change the brake lines out and start on the motor mounts. That did not happen because of all the little glitches that I ran into, or snafus, from bolts being on too tight and taking a while to take off by applying a lot of heat, to the brake lines actually not fitting in the little brackets, and having to file those down. And so because of that, the job took a great deal longer than I anticipated. I learned a lesson, and that is that no matter what you hear on YouTube, like I said before, it's going to take you a while longer. If they say it's an hour, just go ahead and prepare for 2 hours, or in my case, half a day. So I am done working for the day. I am now enjoying my favorite beverage from one of my favorite glasses, and which is sweet tea, because why not? I live in the South, and this is my favorite drink. And I will be enjoying a Three Musketeers. No, I'm not sponsored by them. No, it was not sent to me. I paid for this with my own money. But a couple things I learned. One, and I do have a great deal of tools, but no matter how many tools you have, when you start doing a new project, and one which you have no clue on how to do, just prepare to buy more tools. And I've done that. I've bought quite a few things. Nothing very expensive. I think the most expensive thing I bought was the jack that I had to buy. Everything else was I don't know, 20 bucks or so. So I did buy a new breaker bar. A lot of the new things I bought at Harbor Freight, and I know a lot of people are going to dog me for buying Harbor Freight tools, but hey, they work, they're cheap, and I'm happy with it. So there you have it. I'm not a full-time mechanic or a mechanic at all. I'm just a simple guy trying to fix his car. This is a daily driver, or it will be as soon as I get it up and running. The dripping that you see here is I've got a large deck umbrella, and there's water in the mechanism, and that's why you see water dripping. But anyhow, these are the things I've learned. No matter how many tools you have, you're going to probably need another tool. No matter how much time you think the job is going to take, it's going to take a lot longer. And for a Mazda Speed 6, and I suspect probably for the Mazda Speed 3s as well, if you have to order any parts for it, it's going to take a while. The hoses took about 3 weeks to get, because I had originally ordered them in red, and the company did not let me know that they were out of stock. So finally, when I got a hold of the company, they finally said, okay, we can send you either a black set or the clear set. And so I opted for the clear set. They're stainless steel clear. And so that's what I just got finished putting on. They were not cheap. They were $150, I believe, shipped. But hopefully it'll make a difference in the braking and I had to do it anyways because of the incident. So this project started off with me having to replace a brake line, or so I thought, and that turned into having to replace the brake line and at a minimum the CV boot on the front passenger side of the vehicle. As you have it, if you replace one boot, you might as well replace the other one. So I think what I'm going to do is, I've already looked at the other the driver's side CV boot, that and both of the boots, and they look fine. I'm not having any problems out of that CV shaft. So I think what I'm going to do is just replace the CV shaft on the passenger side, because it's really not that much more and probably less work doing that. The other boots on the back, everything looks fine, so the only thing I'm replacing there is just the brake lines. So now I've got stainless steel throughout. But a project that originally started with just a brake line is now the CV shaft for the passenger, the brake lines, and also I discovered the engine mount was shot, so I'm replacing the engine mounts with Damon Motorsport mounts. That's what I was going to do today, but that's just not going to happen. I think I'm just going to enjoy my sweet tea and my Three Musketeers. So till next time, I will see you around. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment and I'll see if I can answer it. Again, I'm not a mechanic, so I'll answer it to the best of my ability. But I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.